Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in the Weekdays of Bernie segment tonight. Earlier this week, there was a report that secret tunnels to celebrity homes were built below the Playboy mansion in Los Angeles in the 1970s. The tunnels allegedly went to the homes of Jay Nicholson, W. Beatty, Kay Douglas, and Jay Kahn. A number of media actually picked the story up, including Vanity Fair magazine, People magazine, CBS Sports, AOL.com, Mediaite, and even Lou Dobbs on the Fox Business Channel. Result? A hoax. Joining us now from Miami, the purveyor, BernardGoldberg.com, Mr. Goldberg. So this is a stupid story, but it has wider implications, or am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. It has wider implications and very important ones. I'll give you an example involving, a current example involving Harry Reid. First, I have to acknowledge my bias, my personal bias in this area. I think Harry Reid is a despicable human being, and I'm not entirely sure about the human being part, okay? In 2012, Harry Reid took the floor of the Senate and, as Senate Majority Leader, told an outrageously false story about Mitt Romney, who he said hadn't paid any taxes in 10 years. It was totally wrong. The media picked it up and ran with it, and that was legitimate because it was an important person making the accusation. But they did it the right way. They did it with a lot of skepticism. This week, Harry Reid goes on CNN. He's asked about it. He not only refuses to apologize, but he acknowledges what it was all about. He said, Mitt Romney lost, didn't he? Well, that's also an important story, but that one has been virtually ignored. CNN, Washington Post Online did a very good story, but no other major newspaper really picked it up, neither did the evening newscast. And it's not because, well, all politicians lie, it isn't news. It's because Harry Reid, and we all know this, it's because Harry Reid is a liberal Democrat who supports Barack Obama, just like the journalists who are supposed to be covering him. Because if it was a Republican senator who made an outrageously false statement about Barack Obama and he lost, we wouldn't hear the end of it.
That's right.
There'd be editorials calling for resignation, for all sorts of things, and they'd blame the entire Republican Party. But on this, silence.
Now, how are you going to segue into Playboy and the tunnels?
No, you asked if it had wider implications.
Yeah.
That's the wider implication. Somebody says something, and you just think because they said it, it's newsworthy. Well, if it's Harry Reid, it is newsworthy. If it's a tunnel under the Playboy mansion, it isn't newsworthy. But there's a reason they do that, too, if you want to keep it narrow. The reason they do that is because websites that are supposedly news websites, they're 24/7, 365 days a year. They constantly need new material, and they don't want to check too hard to see if something is true. So they put it on if it isn't true, and they get clicks. That's how they make money. And when they find out it isn't true, they put that on and get more clicks and get more money.
They don't care what's true or not.
Well, I'm talking about the websites.
Yes, but the straight media picks it up from the websites. And I want to be fair to Lou Dobbs. The Dobbs people told me that they actually did call Playboy magazine, and they said, look, you know, this sounds outrageous. Playboy said, oh, no, it's true. There's secret tunnels. So they actually tried to find out.
Well, maybe the others tried, too. Listen, Bill, we've both been around long enough.
Yes.
One could be fooled. One could be fooled. The burden ought to be not just on the media, but on the person perpetuating
but Bernie,
the hoax.
I'm not buying that. I saw this story. I knew right away it was ridiculous, all right? Number one, a tunnel in Los Angeles for miles to somebody's house from the Playboy mansion. Come on. Anybody would know this was full, but they don't care, Bernie. They don't care. Well, because there's no downside for the websites to print stuff that isn't true. No downside at all.
Right.
And then the straight media, when they pick it up, can blame the websites. Oh, well, they said it.
100% correct.
Right.
But can we assume that most reasonable news organizations figured that when Harry Reid said Mitt Romney hadn't paid taxes in 10 years, did that sound true to anybody?
No, it didn't. But that was a whole different thing because they wanted President Obama to win. So they don't care what was said. Right?
Yeah. But
that's what that was
I
all
think
about. We don't care what anybody says. We want them to win. And that was the only honest thing that Reid said. It's the only honest thing he said. He won, didn't he? Or he lost, didn't he?
think it was.
Yeah,
I think it was legitimate. I think it's legitimate to run something even when it's obviously false, if it's an important person making the point, and if you treat it with skepticism. But to ignore what he said
what he
this
said
week
afterward.
on
But
CNN,
here's
that's
the kicker.
wrong.
You want the kicker? You know what the real story? There is a tunnel under the Playboy Mansion to Harry Reid's house. Bernie Goldberg, everybody. Gutfeld McGurk on deck. What words you just can't use while covering Hillary Clinton? The boys